It is Thursday, March the 20th.
First day of spring.
5:01.
And flowers are blooming, and
Nose is running,
Nose
and eyes are puffy.
And I was going to say, my grandson's eyes, he's itching because of the pollen. So
A typical day in North Carolina as spring approaches.
Been an interesting week. Every week's an interesting week with things changing that is giving us more and more ideas and vision of where to invest money when it comes to what's going on in politics and out of Washington. Read several articles this week. Give credit where credit is due. Phil Orlando wrote a
really
good article.
Brian Westbury wrote a good article. Yep. Some other folks at Federated Hermes wrote some good articles, really focusing in on what we should be focused on in the next few months, maybe for the environment to be a little better to invest in.
That's correct. The emphasis this week was tariffs. Now, the tariffs started off in the first quarter with initial actions. I'm going to put a tariff on steel and aluminum, and we're going to tariff this.
And I think it was shock therapy, and I think that's how it was being used. And now that we're moving down the road, and they are still going to be utilized, you probably have heard the terms reciprocal tariffs,
right?
And I think that not only are they fair, I think that's the way they're going.
And so that's an April 2nd event that is going, for all indications, and we believe, and what we have read and we understand, it's going to take place. It's going to be put in place. So let's say for now through the end of this year, those tariffs are going to be in place. So the market needs to get their mind around reciprocal April 2nd tariffs and how it's going to affect trading.
Right. Because trading, we are so out of balance with our trading partners. 1.2 trillion deficit with our trading partners is a lot.
A lot.
And GDP could be influenced greatly by shrinking that deficit, and that's the route that we're going.
And that's what came out this week, that, okay, the plan for the second Trump 2.0 administration is three things. It is, one, to get a trade balance, to end up 2.0 getting a trade balance. And it's not going to be a short fix. It's going to be a permanent fix, and that's what he's going to try to do. Number two, get the GDP to be a GDP of 3%. Now, it has been projected going into this year, it was at a 2%. And with what's going on in the trade thus far in the first quarter, the GDP is slowing to 1.7%. But the objective is to get it to a 3% GDP. And then the final of the three things that President Trump 2.0 is trying to do, and it's become clear, is get the deficit down.
Deficit down, and the other three is the 3 million of new barrels of oil.
And in doing that,
that'll lower the prices.
They're going to drill, baby, drill. We're going to be exporters of energy. We're going to drive revenue. We're going to get GDP up. He wants to protect the borders. And with all that, that's where he wants to go. Now, it was related in one of the articles we read that if you were obese, you were out of shape, you were a smoker, you drank too much, and you went to the doctor and he said, okay, it's going to be tough, but if you'll follow what we're going to do, you eat what you're going to do, you'll exercise, you'll stop smoking, you won't drink as much beer. Here is where the end game is, we can get you. You wouldn't throw the big finger at the doctor.
You wouldn't shoot the messenger.
You wouldn't shoot him. You wouldn't cuss. You would say, hey, if you're serious about it, we're going to do it. And this week, it has become clear that's where President Trump administration 2.0 is, and that's the area. That's how we're going to have to be investing in.
And so what we're looking at is that we talked about on the show today, a period of time where it's less worse, because we can't pick a bottom, but we can look at a less worse time. And we think if you're looking at it from a time frame standpoint, then you're looking at April, maybe early May, to where we can see what impact the reciprocal tariffs are having on investments. And is the market starting to get more solidified, and it is, then maybe we'll look at moving some more back into market.
All right, so we said a moment ago on the radio show, and we'll talk more about it, and we're fine-tuning it. Areas like high-quality dividend-paying positions will be an area we'll be looking at. Making sure we're in the right technology positions, but not overweight or out of balance in the technology.
And if interest rates start to be lowered, then that's always a good time to look at small caps and mid caps and financials.
And healthcare.
And healthcare.
Looking at things that provide stability and also can weather storms, because, folks, it's going to be bumpy this year. It's going to be bumpy, so we're going to look for that. And then, here, sit down when I'm telling you this. He said it on the radio 5 minutes ago. We are going to be looking at possibly adding a small position back into international.
I might be purchasing those.
Yeah, you hold your nose. And the reason is because if the world is having to adjust in order to keep up with where we are, if we're successful, they're going to have to be successful, and that means their market might be a place to
Yeah, we're
give
seeing the EU get a
consideration.
lot more aggressive when it comes to their own economy, so that could be a really good sign for
Right.
international.
Our bond position, for the most part, is going to stay short and take advantage of short. But if interest rates come down, we're going to creep out maybe a little more into the intermediate. We've been asked about high yield. We aren't going down that road in high yield because of the risk reward. We just don't believe it's there. And then we're going to be monitoring it and looking at it. But we just about got through the first quarter.
Yeah.
The picture, we believe, is setting itself up, and April and May are the times we can begin to make some decisions to finish this year out. It's going to be bumpy, but we're going to stay in the game, and we believe we can get where we need to get to.
Yep.
If you have any questions, please give us a call. We're meeting with clients. We're seeing clients. We're meeting new people. Please introduce us to someone new. We'd be glad to help them. You know how we work and how we go about it. We do this each and every week because we know how important it is, your money, and your money matters.
Happy spring.
Happy spring.
Talk to you soon.